This video is an introduction to business forecasting and planning and our approach that we've developed over the past 20 plus years of doing this for very small to very large business projects. Before you watch any of the demo videos that go into the spreadsheets, please take a few minutes to watch this through. The demo videos can be a little bit overwhelming if you just start there. If you're new to business planning, you'll certainly learn a lot in this video. If you're more seasoned in business planning, I think you're going to pick up a lot of pointers. But this gives a basic understanding and insights that we've learned from doing this for a very long time. JMS3 has one goal, and that is to make very complex business forecasts easy and affordable for the small to mid-sized business community in order to boost their sustainability and long-term success. Now, the 80% failure rate has always been upsetting, and that hasn't changed. Neither has the 80% number. Been doing this for a very long time. It's always been 80%, and we see this as an opportunity to help out small to mid-sized businesses boost their sustainability, their success, and go into business with their eyes wide open. So we do this for small to mid-sized businesses that are in the service business area, product businesses, food businesses, and lodging businesses. The service businesses, they can range anything from a mobile appliance repair to some type of a day spa or shoe repair, any type of service business that's primarily providing a service to its customers. Product businesses are, by the same token, primarily involved in selling products, whether it's buying low and selling high, or taking a product and doing something to it to make it more special. That's big in the market today. It's a big market trend for artisanal or crafty types of products that are specialized for their customers. Same with services too. More specialized services are becoming more and more popular. Food businesses, they can range anything from a fast casual restaurant to fine dining to a local food truck. Lodging businesses, they can range anywhere from an Airbnb to a campground, a glamping, or outdoor destination resort, to small boutique hotels to very large hotels. So these are the four areas of business types that we've developed some products for. And over this time, we've also developed really our own unique definition of business forecasting and planning. We design our products for any stage of business, whether it's pre-opening, early stage, expansion, meaning they've already been in business and they're looking to expand, or businesses in distress. Something's not going quite right, or something is not organized right, and they need to get things back under control, and hopefully it's not too late. So on the definition of business forecasting and planning, we've really broken it down into two steps. The first, forecasting; second, planning. So forecasting, and this is a little bit of a mouthful, is to accurately predict the future financial performance of a business and its resource requirements to achieve that performance using a series of calculations that are specific to the way the business will do business. As like I said, this is a mouthful. Let's break it down just a little bit. Accurately predict. That's key. Financial performance is not the only thing to be looking at. A lot of forecasts, they call them financial projections. Well, to us, it's financial and resource requirement projections. So resource requirements, that's your labor, it's your facility, it's materials, it's equipment, and it's the capital required to carry out this business. So achieving that performance level using certain resources that are projected by a series of calculations, okay, that are specific to the way the business will do business. This is very key. I've seen a lot of templates out there, platforms, different ways of creating forecasts. A lot of them try to cut corners. But rather than a business trying to conform the way it's going to do business and project it based on a rigid software program or some template, is not the way to do this. We take a very much a business process approach and build the forecast to match the business process. So the benefits and uses of this approach is that the owners and the stakeholders is anybody who has an interest in the business. This can be partners, investors, key employees, but owners and stakeholders that are putting this business together will have a much deeper and earlier understanding of their business. OJT is a no-no. On-the-job training is no place for the owners and stakeholders to be learning how to forecast their business. That just spells trouble. Properly forecasting your business is also going to identify areas that need further market research and development. These are going to be areas that you need to do a little more digging. You need to figure out a few more things. Other things that are going to be identified are weak spots in the business that need to be resolved. Also identifies any potential resource shortages and formulating solutions for those shortages. So resource shortages, typically everybody thinks about, I'm going to run out of capital, my cash flow. But in today's market, labor is becoming much more unpredictable. Costs are going up. Labor pools are becoming more unreliable. So predicting labor requirements over the near and long term is very, very important. Plus, it's going to identify any other shortages that might be particular to your particular business. Now, these three areas are really identifying the negatives of your business. This is a learning process and teaches you really what you need to learn. But these are areas that are weak spots in your business. And it ultimately comes down to, if these can't be worked out, is the business feasible? Is it worthy of pursuing? So by creating feasibility go and no-go limits, you're going to be able to really take a look at this business and decide, don't start a business that isn't going to produce the returns that you require. It might still make money, but it's not worth your time and effort to make the amount of returns that it's projected to make. It might not be sustainable, or it has too many details not yet worked out. So maybe you'll be starting this business a little bit later once you figure out the rest of the details, or you won't be starting it at all. Save your money and look for a different business because this one's just not going to pencil. So this part ultimately comes down to, is the business worthy? I use this term a lot because it covers a lot of ground, covers all of this, and really the worthiness of a business is really up to the owners and stakeholders. Is it worth their while to dedicate their time, effort, and capital to what this business is projected to do? In the case where the business just isn't going to pencil, don't be one of the 80%. Start the business anyway. You really need to pay attention to the forecasting results and take a look at that and say, is the business worthy of my time, effort, and capital to pursue this? So once you go through this and you do have a go, it is a feasible business, it is a worthy business, you're going to take that final forecast and now go into your planning stage. That forecast can be the document that you write your full business plan from, that explains and substantiates the details of that forecast. A lot of people start with a business plan, or they'll start with some business plan template or platform, create a business plan in 15 minutes. That doesn't work either. Sorry to break the news to you, it just does not work. After doing this for literally hundreds of businesses over decades, this is the smoothest way to create that planning document that becomes a working document and operating plan to start, grow, or fix a business. So the business plan really comes from the forecast. The business plan explains the forecast. It becomes the narrative for all the numbers that are in the forecast. And they go back and forth. One explains the other and justifies the other. So the benefits and uses of your plan now it creates a complete set of detailed business goals and future resource requirements. So you have a very specific set of numbers that you'll be managing the business to get that resulting performance of the business, both in resources and in profitability. Now, this plan also becomes the standard operating procedure, or SOP, for the business and its departments. Once a business starts, it typically starts creating a whole nother document called the SOP, which is really a duplicate, or can be completely replaced by a well-written business plan that's based on a very detailed forecast. So another thing it does is it's going to create a set of performance goals for the staff and management for their oversight, transparency, and accountability. These business goals and the corresponding sections of the business plan, or SOP, can actually be extracted from those documents and provided to your various staff individuals as part of their duties and responsibilities in carrying out their job. And then it gives you a way to really oversee them and hold them accountable for their performance. Now, also within this plan and within the forecast, by the time you get done entering all your business data into the forecast that produces this worthy result, you're going to have all the makings of a market study that was created, that was conducted in order to create that forecast. Market studies, in my experience, are something that investors look for, partners look for, other stakeholders, to go along with a business plan and a financial forecast, or a business forecast, because it substantiates all the numbers that were used in the forecast and the business plan to put this plan together. So when investors see a business plan, financial projection, and market study, they look at that very differently than just a business plan and a projection. So by going through this type of process and this approach, you wind up with a market study within all these documents that you're creating. So you wind up with an SOP and a market study on top of a business plan and your forecast. Also, what it does is it creates a plan that shows its work. You remember in math class, you couldn't just write down the answer, you had to show your work, how you got there. So these plans show the work and show the details that can be easily confirmed by investors, partners, and staff, all the stakeholders, for their total buy-in on the business's plan. You get them to agree, and more than half of your battle is over. They're on the same page with you to start, grow, or fix businesses with a very, very clear path. So this part, this definition, has really led us to looking at businesses a very specific way. Literally every business, from a process perspective, fits into one mold. Here's the business and its ownership, the stakeholders that are involved in the business. The first part of a business is what we call the business core. This is where BizCore comes from. It's the core operations of the business, producing a product, a service, or whatever it's selling at a profit for the business to make money, cover its costs of operation, and return a profit to the business, or to the owners and stakeholders in the business. So in these core operations, regardless of what kind of business it is, whether it's retail, products, lodging, or a food business, it has some kind of a process or a product that it sells. There are materials and equipment involved in creating that process and carrying out that process or producing that product. You have labor and management involved within this department. And then you have the facility that it operates within. All of these have costs and resource requirements associated with them. And this core operation is also producing whatever this business is selling at a profit. So this is what I refer to as the engine of the business. If you think of this as a car, this is the engine of that car that makes the business run. The rest of the business, which is the management and support operations of this business core, these are all the operations that need to be present in order for this core operation department to carry out its duties and responsibilities of producing products, services, whatever the business is in the business of doing. Now, this management and support operations is like the rest of the car. It's the transmission, it's the seats, it's the steering wheel, it's everything else that provides a spot for that engine to operate in. So this is everything else. It's your general and administrative line items, everything from insurance to outside consultants to computer repair, all the costs and general and administrative requirements of the business. Then you have staffing and management to operate this part of the business that supports the labor and management over in this part of the business. Now, in order to carry this out, you're going to have some kind of a startup budget or a capital expense in the case of an ongoing business that's looking to expand, or even a distressed business that may need to invest some money into its restructuring. But this is the financial budgets associated with the expansion or startup of a business. Then, of course, you've got marketing and sales that sells the products that are being produced over here. So we've got the engine of the car and the rest of the car right here. And the third piece of every business is all the costs and resource requirements that are created over here, and the costs and resource requirements that are created over here all flow into a way of managing your capital and resource requirements. And within this task right here, you'll have your cash investments coming in, whether it's from the owners or outside investors. You'll have different financing scenarios, loans and leases for equipment or operating capital. And then you have this reporting and auditing responsibility as well, to take in all this information, the costs and resource requirements, timing, all of those things that come from both of these areas of the business, and they get combined to produce forecasts and your accounting records and reports. Now, the difference between forecasting and accounting, very simple. Forecasting is the future, accounting is the past. This hasn't happened yet, this records everything that has happened. And then, so all of this information, resource requirements, they're all combined together, and where they ultimately wind up is going back up to the business ownership, stakeholders, anybody who's got a vested interest in this business is going to go back and forth with this forecast to make decisions on whether to proceed with the business, modify the business, or how the business is going to proceed. So breaking down the business into these, and every business into these particular components, we set out to create forecasting tools that we call BizCores. And it's our approach to SMB, or small mid-sized business forecasting. The features of the product, when we went to design these, we had certain criteria that we wanted to provide in every one of our forecasting products. Number one, we wanted to be instant downloads. The SMB world tends to move quickly. You don't want to wait around months for some kind of thing to be created specifically for you. We've created so many different scenarios over the years that we've incorporated them into standardized pro formas or standardized forecasting tools that can be instantly downloaded. They're specific by type of business. So the types of businesses are service businesses, product businesses, lodging businesses, and food businesses. We also wanted them to be ready to use, ready for the business's data entry as soon as they're downloaded. We also wanted them to be intuitive and straightforward to learn because, like I mentioned before, these things can be overwhelming when you look at what these forecasting tools are actually made up of. So it'll take a little bit to understand what's in there, but once you do, they're very intuitive and straightforward to learn. And they're designed to follow the business processes because that's how the business owners think. You're not thinking like a software engineer, you're thinking like a business operator. So learning them based on the way your business operates makes it much easier. Also, automated data entry features where if you enter it once and it needs to be in several different places, it automatically goes there. Different ways of entering and updating schedules and things like that by automatically adjusting dates. Every one of the data entry fields in our forecasts are color-coded green, so you know exactly what areas and what data needs to be entered. Then they also need to cover a very broad range of details. You might not use every one of those details, but in an instant download, we want to have them in there so that if you are going to use those details, they're there for you already. If you're not going to use a particular detail, we just zero it out and it doesn't affect the rest of the forecast. We also wanted them to be flexible and adaptable. We call it tweakable, with a broad range of options and features. Most businesses that are starting out are going to start out with our basic BizCore forecasts by type of business. But understanding that some businesses are going to start off bigger than others, they're going to have more operating departments. We do have a way of installing add-ons into these very quickly, easily, and we've got a number of different products that can adapt and extend each of these forecasts. We also wanted to make sure that they apply to any stage of business, pre-startup, early stage expansions, or distressed businesses. So we have all these features incorporated into our products, but the goals of what these features are meant to do is to be easily customizable and, very important, representative of the way the business is going to do business, not the other way around. They've got to be detailed and accurate. They have to be readily expandable over time, be easily supported by us initially and in the long run on an ongoing basis, quick delivery of a finished product, and to offer all this at a much lower cost than the next best thing that's out there. And I think we've done all that. Our goal is to get these forecasting products within the reach of SMBs and have a dramatic positive impact on their success rates. And here's how we do it. So we've got these BizCore forecasts, and we have so each forecast is comprised of 7 different plugins that cover all 3 parts of that business. And so the first part is the BizCore operations. This is a plugin that's specific to a products business, a services business, food or lodging business. And so it conducts all the calculations that are specific to the engine part of the business. Then as far as the rest of the car, they're all covered in these 6 different plugins. So your general and administrative requirements and costs, staffing and management, startup budget and CapEx, marketing and sales, the loans and leases that are going to be part of your financing, if any, and then of course depreciation schedule, really to complete the picture on this entire operation. So this, each of these we have videos for all of these. You'll see down below this one, there are 7 or 6 different plugin videos that go into each of these in some detail, so you can see how they're used and how they incorporate and link in and are connected to the BizCore operations, and how all of these are connected and interrelated with one another. Now, I'm going to warn you again, when you start looking at these videos, they're going to look overwhelming at first, because what these things do is as you enter your business data, the BizCore is going to create very customized deep data for your business. Now, deep data is a term that's used very frequently among very large enterprises and very large businesses, because they've got the money and the budget to create all this deep data, and they draw from this deep data to make business decisions. And this is a critical part to make this available to small businesses at a very affordable and easy way to do. You can create your own deep data. As you look at the other videos and you get overwhelmed, this is the part that's really overwhelming you, is all those rows and columns that get created by the BizCore based on the business data that gets entered in, creates all this deep data. Now, here's the good news, though. All this deep data, you don't even really have to look at very much. You can go to it for reference whenever you want to, but this is not where you go. This is where you go. The BizCore is going to have built within it automatic production of custom reports. And these reports can be customized to your particular business. The BizCore is going to come with a summary and snapshot, as well as a full-on income and expense projection. These are the other 2 plugins that go with these 7 plugins. So in any of our BizCores, you're going to see 9 different plugins that are all connected together. These are purely reports. This one actually has 1 data entry field, and when you go to this video, you'll see why. This snapshot is a very cool tool for looking at all this deep data that got created inside the BizCore. Then the income and expense projection, we've actually combined quite a few things together in this. It's your cash flow statement, it's your net profit statement, your EBITDA statement, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. You'll get familiar with that term as well. Plus, it also has an owner net revenue distribution schedule to it. So even though it's creating all this really overwhelming deep data, confusing deep data, these custom reports pull from this deep data created from your business data, calculated by these 7 different plugins to give you very clear and understandable summaries and snapshots and income and expense projections. Now, here's an important insight that comes from this. You're going to learn much more about your business, discover details, figure out challenges as you think through the data that you're entering here. This is a critical thinking process that you're really forced into to think through all the details of your business. And if you remember, it's the details that you didn't think through that could get you in the long run and cause your business to fail. So this is our approach to it. And if this approach sounds good to you, this is how we bring on new clients. So new clients, they select their BizCore forecast, products or services. Coming soon is going to be food and lodging. Still got a little bit of work to do on these. And so you get that in an instant download. When you get that, it's fully functional. So get familiar with your BizCore, enter some variables, see what changes, plug in some numbers, and just watch the overall results. Watch more videos to really see how all 7 of those plugins ultimately get data entered into them, and just become more familiar with that. And then you're going to discover the flow of entering data. You'll start to see and tie in to how you understand your business process and relate that over to the entering of your data. Once you've spent a little bit of time doing this, and this could be just in a couple hours after you've gotten the instant download, when you're ready, we'll start the onboarding process. Reason why we really suggest doing some of this is because it saves time in the onboarding process, so we can spend more time on your questions, customizing, and really getting this to be a perfect tool for your business. So once you have the instant download, our training, support, and insights kick in. As much as we want this to be turnkey and DIY, we understand that the learning curve for anybody that has limited experience, all the way up to folks that have considerable experience, there's still going to be a little bit of a learning curve. But we've designed these, like we said earlier, to be intuitive and easy to learn and follow your business process. So we have a very formal and efficient one-on-one onboarding process. This is going to take you through and get you using your pro forma or your forecast very quickly. The one-on-one training and tweaks. So each one of our BizCore forecasts includes 2 hours of training and tweaks. And this is done very efficiently as well, because training, tweaks, and data entry are all done at the same time and used to train you, to get your business data in there, and also look for any adjustments that need to be made to the BizCore to get a little bit even closer to the way you're going to run business. Once these are done, you now have a fully customized BizCore forecast, and you can be running your own forecast like a pro in just a couple of hours. And once you have this, we're still here. So as you're on your own doing this, we're here at whatever level you need us to be. The video tutorials and knowledge base on the website, we're going to continue adding more and more videos and more to the knowledge base. I've got 25 years of knowledge and experience that I've been dumping out of my head, and I've got a lot more to go. So this is going to continue to grow. And one of the key things about your forecast are the insights that you can learn from the forecast itself. So we also offer ongoing one-on-one analysis and insights. We have plans for this if you need more. Also, if you need any add-ons integrated in and the support that goes along with it as your business expands, or you add other operating centers to your business, your BizCore is completely expandable. And we continue to provide and support all those add-ons and expansions. And then, just like we have been doing for decades, we can create just about any customization. We can model just about anything that's out there. I've yet to come across something that I could not put into a spreadsheet. So we're here for you for a very long time. We're here as you need it. So if any of this seems overwhelming to you, keep an eye out. The overwhelming parts are triggers that's an area you need to focus and spend some time on learning. So don't let anything that seems to be overwhelming really be a challenge or kick you back on your heels. Use that knowledge to understand what you don't understand, and then you can go and find out and learn it. Or you can get the help to help you find out and learn it. So if this is an approach that you like and could see yourself really buying into, suggest keep watching some more of the videos. Watch the 7 business plugins that are below this video, the 2 report plugins, and more videos just about effective forecasting. The knowledge base and blog has a lot of different articles, all different kinds of topics. That's going to probably grow to about 3 times its size, because I've still got a lot in my head. But as you're going through all of this, do not be overwhelmed. There is an easy path to understanding business forecasting and planning, and that's what we're here to do. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to be talking to you soon.